Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsav Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. US President Donald Trump issued a warning to Hamas. He told the militant group to release all Israeli hostages or, and I quote, "It's over for you." Trump also told the people of Gaza that they will die if hostages are not released. The warnings followed the Trump administration's direct negotiations with Hamas over the release of hostages. The US has paused sharing intelligence with Ukraine. This comes days after cutting all military aid to the war-torn nation. US National Security Advisor Mike Waltz said that Washington is reviewing all aspects of its ties with Kiev. Russian anti-terrorism forces reportedly killed 4 militants in the region of Dagestan. Reports say that the militants were affiliated with the Islamic State. They were caught with improvised explosive devices and grenades. They were allegedly planning an attack at the Russian Interior Ministry's regional branch. The US Department of Veteran Affairs is reportedly planning to remove over 80,000 workers. In a memo to senior officials, the agency's chief of staff said that the aim is to return to 2019 staffing levels. The memo directed employees to work with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. The US Supreme Court has blocked Trump's bid to withhold payment to the US Agency for International Development, or USAID. This is for work it has already done. The Trump administration aims to stop American humanitarian projects around the world. The US president has signed an executive order to pause the aid for 90 days. The US is set to execute a prisoner by firing squad. This will be done for the first time in 15 years. Brad Sigmund, a death row inmate in South Carolina, is scheduled to be executed on Friday. He was convicted for the murder of his ex-girlfriend's parents in the year 2001. Israel appointed a new military chief of staff yesterday. Eyal Zamir was promoted to the rank of lieutenant general. He is the 24th Israeli military chief. The appointment came after Herzi Halevi's resignation over the IDF's failure to prevent the October 7, 2023 attack by Hamas. Khalistani extremists tried to disrupt Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's London trip. They staged protests outside Chatham House. The protests escalated into a security breach as a protester tried to block Jaishankar's car while he was leaving. In the Greek capital Athens, thousands of protesters gathered outside Parliament. They were demonstrating against a train crash that took place in the year 2003 and killed 57 people. Tensions escalated when the police used force to disperse the protesters. It led to violent clashes breaking out. In Mozambique, opposition leader Venancio Mondlane staged a march in the capital Maputo. This was to present his new political party. However, things turned violent after the police used live ammunition to disperse the crowd. At least 14 people were left injured. In climate news, the United States is reportedly pulling out of the Just Energy Transition Partnership. It's a program designed to help developing nations shift from coal to clean energy. Reports say that Washington has exited JETP agreements in South Africa, Indonesia, and Vietnam, raising concerns about the future of climate financing. The U.S. state of Kansas has been battered by fierce winter weather that triggered blizzard conditions. Local authorities urged residents to stay indoors as strong winds and heavy snowfall disrupted travel. The U.S. National Weather Service issued blizzard warnings for parts of east central and northeast Kansas. Cyclone Alfred has stalled off Australia's east coast, delaying landfall even as residents brace for flooding. Airports, schools and public transport have been shut down. Australians are stockpiling supplies and sandbagging their homes. Cyclone Alfred is now expected to make landfall near Brisbane by Friday evening. The city has not been directly impacted by a cyclone since 1974. China has announced plans for large-scale renewable energy projects. This is to help the country peak its carbon emissions before 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by the year 2060. The initiative includes offshore wind farms, new energy bases in deserts, and a controversial hydropower project in Tibet that has raised concerns in India. A Peruvian mountain guide has taken legal action against the German energy company RWE. The guide blames the German firm's emissions for glacier melting in the Peruvian mountains and wants it to fund flood mitigation measures. The case is set for oral hearings on the 17th and 19th of March in Germany. On to business and tech news now. Donald Trump will exempt automakers from his sweeping 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. The exemption will last for a month. This was announced by the White House yesterday. The decision followed Trump's talks with Stellantis, Ford, and General Motors. Goldman Sachs has raised its economic growth projection for Germany this year. It expects Europe's largest economy to grow by 0.2%. The rise is attributed to increased military and infrastructure spending. Rio Tinto is set to invest $1.8 billion to develop its Brockman Syncline 1 iron ore. This comes as the project in the Pilbara region of Western Australia obtained approvals from the state and federal governments. According to reports, 7&I Holdings is expected to announce a change of CEO. This comes as the Japanese company aims to restructure its business as it faces a $47 billion foreign takeover bid. Billionaire Elon Musk's Tesla has signed a 5-year lease to open its first showroom in Mumbai. According to reports, the agreement shows that the US electric car maker will pay $446,000 rent for the first year. The rent will reportedly increase 5% every year. India's Larsen & Toubro, or L&T, is exploring the aerospace sector. The company is assembling India's first privately built polar satellite launch vehicle. It's expected to launch mid-year. This comes as India boosts private participation in the aerospace industry. Britain has dropped its investigation into Microsoft's partnership with OpenAI. The UK probe agency said that the software giant's level of control over the ChatGPT maker does not warrant further probing. The partnership that started with $1 billion in investment by Microsoft came under antitrust scrutiny in Britain and the US. Logitech International said it'll buy back shares worth $2 billion over the next 3 years. It'll also increase the buyback program by $600 million. This comes as the Swiss-American company confirmed its 2025 outlook. Onsemi is trying to buy Allegro Microsystems once again for cash. This is after the US chipmaker rebuffed repeated attempts over the past 6 months. The company has offered to pay over $35 for each share held by Allegro's shareholders. The bid is 1.73% higher than what was offered in 2024. This would value Allegro Microsystems at $6.46 billion. Malaysia is set to pay $250 million to ARM Holdings over 10 years to acquire the firm's chip design plans for local manufacturers. The announcement was made by the Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. This as the country aims to produce its own chips within the next decade. Moving to sports, we start with cricket. New Zealand beat South Africa by 50 runs in the second semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy. Batting first, New Zealand's Rachin Ravindra and Kane Williamson hit centuries as the Kiwis placed 362 runs on the scoreboard. In response, South Africa were restricted at 312 runs despite a 100-run knock by David Miller. New Zealand will meet India in the Champions Trophy final in Dubai on March 9th. In football, Liverpool beat PSG 1-0 in the Champions League. After a goalless first half, Liverpool's Harvey Elliott hit the back of the net in the 87th minute. Alisson Becker made a whopping 9 saves at Liverpool's goalpost to deliver a critical win for his team. In tennis, former women's world number 1 Naomi Osaka lost in her first round match at the Indian Wells. The Japanese player lost 6-4, 6-4 to Colombia's Camila Osorio in a match that lasted just 91 minutes. Osaka was playing her first match since retiring injured at the Australia Open earlier this year. In badminton, India's Kidambi Srikanth has advanced to the second round of the Orleans Masters. The former men's world number 1 beat Japan's Ku Takahashi 21-19, 21-14. The Indian will next face Lee Zijia of Malaysia in his round of 16 match. Formula One governing body FIA has been threatened with legal action by Motorsport UK over governance-related issues. This comes after several FIA members were barred from a meeting of the FIA World Council for refusing to sign a non-disclosure agreement. In entertainment news, Jennifer Hudson had an unexpected courtside experience at a recent New York Knicks game. A rogue basketball struck her in the face. The incident, which was caught on camera and quickly went viral, in the aftermath, Hudson readjusted her glasses. Despite the surprise, the Dreamgirls star handled the moment with grace, later laughing about it on social media. Adidas has officially sold out of its remaining Yeezy sneaker inventory. This marks the final chapter of its once lucrative partnership with the rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. The company severed ties with the rapper in October 2022, following a series of anti-Semitic remarks. The fallout from the split had significant financial consequences for Adidas, costing the company over $246 million. Lady Gaga has entered a new era, both musically and personally. The pop superstar revealed that her relationship with fiancé Michael Polanski has profoundly influenced her songwriting. One track in particular, Blade of Grass, was inspired by a conversation the couple had about proposals. Lady Gaga recalled telling Polanski that a simple blade of grass wrapped around her ring would be the perfect engagement gesture. Jamie Foxx is deepening his relationship with Fox Entertainment Studios. He has signed a multi-year deal that grants the network first look rights to scripted projects from his Foxhole Productions banner. The agreement also covers exclusive rights to his work in the unscripted space. The deal solidifies his presence in television as he continues developing both scripted and reality-based programming. Matt Lucas has issued a public apology to Millie Bobby Brown. This is following criticism for the Stranger Things star over remarks made about her appearance by him and several media outlets. Lucas, acknowledging Brown's concerns, apologized for any offense his comments may have caused. He added that he respects her talent and strength in addressing the issue. As Daredevil Born Again makes its long-awaited return, stars Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are already teasing what fans can expect in Season 2. Cox shared in an interview that he has read the first 6 scripts and is excited about the intense developments ahead. D'Onofrio echoed the sentiment, hinting that the story will take unexpected and intense turns. The plot details remain under wraps. Robert Pattinson has revealed that he avoids watching horror films. He claims that he has grown too sensitive to them as an adult. The Mickey 17 actor admitted that he once enjoyed disturbing films, but now finds them unsettling, to the point where he has, on occasion, slept with knives nearby due to paranoia. Netflix has officially greenlit Nemesis. It's a high-intensity crime drama from Power creator Courtney A. Kemp. This marks her first major project under her overall deal with the streamer. Nemesis follows two men on opposing sides of the law, a master criminal and a brilliant detective, whose clash sets the stage for an unpredictable game of cat and mouse. HBO's The Last of Us is growing its cast for Season 2. They have added 6 actors to the highly anticipated follow-up to the Emmy-winning first season. According to reports, actors like Joe Pantoliano, Alana Ubash and Ben Allers have joined the ensemble. Filming for Season 2 is currently underway, with the series expected to return in 2025. The hit musical Hamilton has cancelled its scheduled performances at the Kennedy Center in 2026. They have cited political interference following US President Donald Trump's takeover of the institution. Lead producer Jeffrey Seller released a statement explaining that while political discourse is integral to democracy, the Kennedy Center was meant to remain a bipartisan space for the arts. Hamilton tells the story of America's founding fathers. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to Firstpost.